Yo, whoa, what up, guys? Zach here, back with another little live video. It's been a while since we done one of these. If I look that direction towards my other computer, you will you'll see me look this direction because I'll be live on Facebook and then Twitter right here on phone. So can you all hear me? Good? Are we good on sound and everything? Don't want to start doing the live without any sound. Okay, thank you for letting me know we're good. Let's uh, screen share. Today is March 17th, 2026. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. And let's get this going. All right. Can you guys see my screen okay? And Facebook people, you will just see me. Twitter people, you will just see the stream. Okay, cool. And also, if you hear my fan, sorry about that. It's just my other computer is next to me. So, we are doing the men's bracket first. Duke versus Siena. Yeah, that one's easy. And the date of that one is March 19th at 12:50. So, in today's Tuesday, so Thursday, Ohio State and TCU. That one will be fun to see as well because I try to watch everyone. But anyway, Ohio State versus TCU. We'll come back to that one. St. John's versus Northern Iowa. That one. Kansas versus California Baptist. Kansas. Louisville versus South Florida. A lot of these in the first round, first two rounds, I should say, are like no-brainer. Michigan State versus North Dakota State. Easy. UCLA and UCF. UCLA. UConn. Easy. Okay. And then we'll do the West side. And also, for this live alone, we're going to be doing just the, just a men's bracket. Arizona, Villanova and Utah State, Villanova, Wisconsin and High Point, Arkansas against Hawaii. Hawaii in the March Madness tournament. How many times has that happened? Can someone Google that for me? Because I am actually curious. I can Google it as well, but when was the last time Hawaii made the March Madness tournament? Yeah, that was so long ago. Thank you for the one that searched that. Don't want to leak your name because personal reasons, and we're on like 3 softwares. But thank you. 10 years ago was when Hawaii made it. And can you guys see my screen now? Because you guys said that you could not before, but can you now? Okay, cool. I'm monitoring like 3 different things at once, which is crazy. Okay, anyway, moving on. Arkansas versus 10 years ago Hawaii. I just find that crazy because Hawaii have all schools like Alaska Fairbanks and all those Alaska schools. That would also be like, in my opinion, pretty wild. Like if you say an Alaska college made NCAA men's tournament or whatever, because Alaska is cold, so hockey, which their hockey team is decent at Fairbanks and all that. But Hawaii, can't think of a single good sport for Hawaii at the moment, and it's just crazy to say. Okay, anyway, moving on. BYU versus Texas and NCSU. Can someone help me out there? It's Texas versus who tonight? Because I'm just doing it like just to get it over with. But who is Texas playing? Thank you for that. BYU versus Texas and NC State. Gonzaga versus Kansas State. A lot of these I've heard of for like the lower seeds, like Q and all that. A lot of these are pretty easy to like figure out. Miami, Missouri, Purdue versus Queens. Like I said, a lot of these are no brainer. Okay, anyway. Florida versus whoever they're playing. Yeah, Florida's gonna win that one. I don't even want to know who like those two schools are. If someone can help me figure out who those two schools are, that'd be great. But Florida is winning it, guarantee it. I'd be shocked if PV and LEH. Huh? Can someone help me with that? I know I should be like more up on this, but these games are actually taking place either uh whenever. Or is it one school, the PV/LEH, whatever it stands for? Prairie View and I'm not even trying to pronounce it, but anyway, Florida's winning. Clemson and Iowa. See, Clemson's another school. Clemson makes the March Madness tournament. When was the last time they made the tournament? Also, for the people that are watching in the Discord, hint hint, put the Hawaii fact because I did not even know that. 10 years ago, did not even think they made it ever. Nothing against Hawaii, but okay. Anyway, when was the last time Clemson made the NCAA? Let's look. When 2025. They made it last year for Clemson. I did not realize that. I did a bracket last year. Okay, anyway. Clemson and Iowa. I think I'm going to have to go Iowa for this one. Vanderbilt versus McNeese. Vanderbilt, Nebraska, and Troy. Easy. Can you all guess who I'm going to pick here? Hint, we know someone that is a fan of one of these. Trying to make this fun. That's why I keep doing those hints and the fun stuff. And we'll be doing the women's bracket tomorrow, more than likely. Good answer. I approve that answer. Illinois versus Penn, St. Mary's versus Texas A&M. I think I always pick Texas A&M when they're in it for like one of the first round matchups, if I remember. But this year, I think I'm gonna have to go with St. Mary's because I don't want to like lose my perfectness in the first round. I probably already will. Shout out to whoever makes it all the way. Let's just add because it's fun. Okay, that's enough. Very nice. Did you all hear that clapping sound, or do I need to play it again? I need to add sounds in my computers. Okay, wait. Houston versus Idaho. Easy. Iowa State versus Tennessee State. Iowa State. Kentucky versus Santa Clara. Virginia and Wright State. Tennessee versus Miami, Ohio, and SMU. I'm picking Tennessee there, but let's take a minute to talk about this. Miami, Ohio, one loss, gets in the last four, which means they play first, and if they win, they move on. If they lose, the season's over. So can we talk about that? Can we just look at their schedule for a quick sec? So let me find it. Let's just do this. Okay. Right now we're on Miami, Ohio's website for basketball. Let's see here. Let's look at the schedule. Like, who in the world thought, let's just leave Miami, Ohio out until the end, and you're almost undefeated and lose by 4 points, I think it was, to UMass? Hmm. I've heard a lot of these colleges. I just did not even know they played them. See, a lot of the games are very close, like 2 point differential. See, and then here's your loss. 4 points to UMass. Out of all teams, University of Massachusetts, and they lose. Crazy. And then the tournament. And yeah, so pretty dang crazy. Let me go back. Anyway, moving on. Okay, wait. Alabama versus Hofstra. I don't know if I said that right. Sorry to any of the Hofstra fans out there. Everyone heard of that college? Texas Tech, second. Georgia. UMBC versus HO or HOW. Michigan. Not even going to worry about what those schools are. But now let's move on to here. Ohio State versus TCU. 8 versus 9. This is what always gets me because last year it was Louisville and I forget who they played in the first round. Anyone remember who Louisville played in the first round last year? Or was it not Louisville? Because my computer's saying 2013. If you guys remember, let me know. Because I completely forget at the moment. Anyway, Ohio State versus TCU. That's Ohio State is favored by 2.5. A lot more people are picking Ohio State by a whole million. Am I reading that correctly? I'm in math class, but I can't do math at the moment. Million and difference, basically. Yes? No? We'll just pick Ohio State. Okay. Now the round of 32 is set. March 21st through March 22nd. So Saturday and Sunday. Same day, Mark and I have state basketball. Shout out to Mark if he's still watching this, and shout out to every single person that has made my journey as not just a basketball player, but a person in general amazing. Okay, anyway, Duke versus Ohio State. Duke. The reason I say it like that is because that's like a no-brainer. Because look, Duke versus Ohio State. 1 versus 8. Coach K used to coach Duke. Successful coach. Ohio State. Good. But basketball is not really the sport. Football is a sport. St. John's versus Kansas. Kansas. Louisville versus Michigan State. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited for this one. Michigan State. UCLA versus UConn. UConn. Arizona versus Villanova. I think Arizona, probably. The reason I said I think is because it's been a while since Villanova was like good. Like they're still like in the March Madness tournament, so all these 64 teams are good. But there's some that like stand out above the rest, like Villanova and Duke, though, and Gonzaga, of course. Those years they were dominant. No one could touch them. Arizona is like those Duke and Villanova teams, in my opinion. You guys can disagree all you want, and I won't judge you for it. And yeah, so if you think Arizona is not as good as Villanova, those amazing years Villanova was at the top, whatever year that was, good for you. But if you agree with me, that's fine too. Wisconsin versus Arkansas. We'll come back to that one. BYU versus Gonzaga. Gonzaga. Miami versus Purdue. Give me the Boilermakers over the Hurricanes. But that'd be kind of actually crazy if Miami made the championship, just like how they did in football. But Miami would have to get through Gonzaga, Duke, Kansas, all those dominant schools first. Plus, basketball is way harder, in my personal opinion, to make the March Madness tournament than football teams to make the college football playoff. Because, yeah, there's more teams in basketball, but there's also more games in basketball than football. Like when you looked at the Miami Ohio schedule, that was 31-1. I believe that's 32 games, counting the playoff game. So, versus football season is only 15, I think. Can someone look that up? How many games is a college football season? Is college basketball? Florida versus Iowa. Florida. Vanderbilt versus Nebraska. Give me the Cornhuskers. North Carolina versus Illinois. I'm going to go Illinois. Like North Carolina is a strong team, but Illinois tiny bit better, in my opinion. Not like I'm not picking favorites, of course, because that'd be wrong of me. If I was picking favorites, I would pick like this college to go all the way because I still might, but I won't like say I'm gonna like put them against like terrible teams and they'll win it all. No, that's unfair. It's called logic that I love to say. Anyway, St. Mary's versus Houston. Houston. And also, important note for these three lives that I'm doing at the moment, they will all be posted and we will only be doing one bracket. We will be doing multiple brackets after the live, but like while I'm like talking to how many people are watching, what's the word? I will only be posting one. Kentucky versus Iowa State. Iowa State. But that Kentucky team could be good. I made a Metal Kentucky thing. I will show you all later. I don't know where I'll put it yet though. Like, well, I'll like post a picture that I take. Tennessee versus Virginia. This is where like it gets hard because like it's like 6 versus 3 and it's like a good like matchup. A lot of people are picking Virginia over the Volunteers. We'll just go there. Alabama, Michigan, and Georgia. We'll just do Michigan and Georgia first. Michigan easy. Texas Tech versus Alabama. Let's look at that. Anyone else kind of shocked by this? Because yeah, Alabama is a higher seed, but when you look at like Texas Tech, like last year or whenever it was, when they like were down like 6 or something, and they like just kept scoring, and completed the crazy comeback. Or maybe that was a different tournament. Okay, we're moving on. Let's say Alabama. Alabama. Name the singer. Sweet Home Alabama without Googling it. We'll do that for a little break. Sweet Home Alabama, who sings it? Let's see if you are correct. You are correct. 1 minute. Here's your reward. Okay, that's enough. Very nice. You enjoy your clapping sound? Okay, moving on. Duke versus, oh, we forgot to do this one. Wisconsin versus Arkansas. Who's, let's see here. I just think the Razorbacks. That's their mascot, right? Arkansas Razorbacks. Can someone confirm? Arkansas Razorbacks. Okay, anyway, let's start down here for the uh, Elite Eight. I believe is what we're at. Oh, we're at Sweet 16. Yeah, Sweet 16 and then to Advanced Elite. Florida versus Nebraska. Can we even debate like who will win this? Florida and Nebraska. Florida still has that 7'5", whatever, however tall he is, freshman. Well, he was a freshman last year, but sophomore this year. I don't remember his name at the moment. Or did he graduate? Yeah, 7'9". I just googled it. Did you get? Would anyone in this live stream that's watching? Would you want to be above 7 feet? You would just need a specialized car, specialized maybe shoes, but especially a specialized house and car. Would you want to be above 7 foot, or do you want to be like what I am right now is good? Maybe a couple inches taller, maybe a couple inches shorter if you're like 6'6" or whatever. Anyone? Okay, anyway, moving on. Florida, Illinois versus Houston. See, this is where like it's so tough that like all sports to me, MLB, NBA, NHL, NFL, etc., when it gets to either like the Elite Eight, Conference Championship, whether that is Conference Championship, Elite Eight for basketball, Conference Finals, etc. It gets tough. Can we all agree that it gets tough when, like, look at this, Michigan versus Alabama. That one's easy, but like when you look at this, Illinois versus Houston, and Virginia versus Iowa State, 3 versus 2. Two really great programs that have been there a lot. And 4 million people are picking Houston over Illinois, which makes sense. But who knows why it's called March Madness? Because upsets. Oh wow, that was so hard to figure out. Anyway, but Virginia and Iowa State. See, this one is like Iowa State probably. We'll come back to those two. Let me know what you guys think, though. Duke versus Kansas. Arizona versus Arkansas. Arizona, definitely. The ones I'm skipping is the ones I'm like unsure on because they like could go like either way. Gonzaga versus Purdue. I think the Zags have like a good team over Purdue. Let's see what the prediction's thinking. See, like it's more like 50-50. Kind of. 2 million difference, but anyway. Michigan State versus UConn. Michigan State versus UConn. Hmm. Welcome. Okay, anyway. Duke versus Kansas. Duke is like the higher seed. Okay. I did not think it would be that much of a difference. Would you guys have thought when you see like Kansas versus Duke, looking at like the Jayhawks, how great they've been, and no, I might not pick them because Brandon Rushing, cough cough, Mark knows who that is. But anyway, but 670,000 versus 6 million. That's 6 million, right? Can we think I'm not like crazy? Because I already am crazy. I'll tell you guys that story in a sec. $6 million versus 670,000. Let's see. I wonder who I'm gonna pick. Probably Duke because when you look at the difference, 670,000 versus 6,132,135. Quick math. How much of a difference is that? I can do it if no one is able to. Sorry about that, guys. My computer just let me know it was about to die. Of course it is. So, Michigan State versus UConn. See, like, look at this. This is like 50-50. But I'm gonna have to go the Huskies. And then Illinois versus Houston. Give me Houston. Sure. Virginia versus Iowa State. Give me the Cyclones. Okay. Grade 8 is here. I mean, Elite 8, not grade 8. Duke versus UConn. Duke versus UConn. Let's see what the difference is. A 3 million difference. Give me Duke. Arizona versus Gonzaga. Arizona is just a stronger team. It's plain and simple. We got Duke and we got Arizona. And then Florida versus Houston. And Michigan versus Iowa State. I think the Cyclones might pull off an upset here against Michigan. That's what we're going with. Lock it in. Lock it in. Florida versus Houston. 7-9 player versus a really good Houston team. I think we're gonna have to go like the Gators here over Houston. And then here we go. Final Four. Final Four. And April 6th is the championship, which is a Monday. Okay. Arizona versus Iowa State. Arizona is a stronger team. Duke versus Florida. That one is going to be amazing. A lot of people picking Duke over Florida. A lot of people picking Duke over Florida. Who do you guys think I should pick? Duke or Florida? I know it's up to me at the end of the day, but what do you guys think? Duke or Florida? We got one vote for Duke. Duke versus Arizona would be pretty historic, so would Florida and Arizona. Yeah, Florida won last year, that's right. And it's hard to go back to back. I think I'm gonna have to look at it in detail. They beat Florida by 1 last time they met. So it's gonna be an interesting game. And very funny. I don't get that, but we'll talk about that another time. Duke versus Florida. Florida's gonna want revenge last time they beat them. It's a tough one. I think I'm gonna have to go with Florida here. Only because wanting revenge and all that. Florida versus Arizona. 1 versus 1. Let's see the difference. Arizona versus Florida. I think I'm gonna have to go Arizona here. Because Arizona is just a strong team. How many points will be scored in the championship game? 90 plus 85 is 175, right? 90 plus 85, 175. +90 plus 85. 175. I was right. Okay. 175. My prediction is Arizona wins 90 to 85 to equal 175. And then we don't need to do that. Arizona is a winner against Florida. Shall be a fun March Madness for men's basketball. Like and subscribe, everyone. I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe out there. We will be doing the women's bracket tomorrow, but right now we just completed the men's. Arizona beating Florida in the national championship for men's basketball. Peace. Stay safe out there, everyone, and I will see you guys next time. Peace. Peace out, everyone.